Hey guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I'll be talking about a book which is a murder mystery thriller. So if you are a book lover, then you should definitely hit subscribe to my channel Saumya'sbookstation, as I make loads of bookish content on this channel. And do not forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a video. And if you like this video, do not forget to give this a thumbs up and share it. So in today's video, I'll be talking about The Secret of the Palamu Fort by Razi Ahmed. This book was sent to me by the author, so let's get into the video. The story in The Secret of the Palamu Fort is taking place in Jharkhand. So a professor is killed at his own house and the witnesses of the murder claim that a ghost materialized out of the thin air and committed the murder. So obviously the police gets very confused with this angle, so they rope in a very famous and a very renowned detective named Robin Horo. So as the story progresses and as Robin Horo gets further in his investigation of this murder, he finds out that the clues to this murder actually lie in the history that goes as far back as 350 years during the reign of Raja Medini Ray of the Chero dynasty. So for the most part, the story takes place in the present modern day world, but sometimes the reader also gets the glimpse of the past as the story takes us back in time during the reign of Raja Medini Ray. One thing is made clear, that there is definitely a historical angle, and obviously not to forget the $1,000,000 question about how was the professor murdered by a ghost. How is it possible for a ghost to materialize out of the thin air and murder the professor? But there it is, the witnesses saw the ghost murdering the professor themselves. So this is the biggest question. And why was the professor murdered? That is another big question. So Robin Horo, along with his companions, which are none other than his younger cousin Neil Horo, a friend who is a Hindi poet named Babulalji, embark on this trail to solve this murder mystery. Now talking about my experience with reading The Secret of the Palamu Fort by Razi Ahmed. Now to be honest, this was the first time that I read a murder mystery that was taking place in Jharkhand. I believe that the setting of a story really affects the vibe of the story. So for me, this story gave off really new vibes. So even though this book is a murder mystery, it raises one really important point apart from its genre, which is that there are many sites and monuments in India that have historical significance and relevance and a rich history attached to them, and yet they're not given their due importance and attention by the government and the people. They are neglected. To be honest, for me this book was an educational experience like that, because I found out about the Palamu forts in Jharkhand through this book, and reading this book makes me want to visit those forts. And the historical angle that has been introduced in this book is also quite accurate. It tallies with the actual history of that place, so that was something that I liked about the book. So the premise of the story is definitely very inviting for the reader, because as I told you, a professor gets murdered by a ghost. So there is that paranormal element that is always interesting to read about. It never gets boring. This book was a smooth read for me for the most part, except there was one point in the book where I was kind of thrown off. It was on page 52 when I got confused because of the story, and I corresponded with the author and I was told that it was a printing error which has been corrected in the reprints. So I'm not really going to hold that against the book, but yes, that's what happened. Overall, this book has been written in a very easy language, so it is the kind of story that you can probably read in a single sitting without any difficulty at all. The pace of the story was neither fast nor slow for me personally, although I wish it could have been a little more racy, because it is a thriller after all. Apart from that, the book definitely had the page turning factor, because obviously there was a suspense hanging, but at the same time I have to mention that there were points in the story where I was able to predict what was going to happen ahead of time, and I was right. So that was there, but at the same time I would also like to mention that I was not able to predict the overall suspense, the main suspense that comes at the end. Whatever happened at the end was still unexpected. So this was a story that made me think about what is going to happen next, but it was not the kind of story that kept me up at night wondering and biting my nails. So you see, that is the difference. That is why I'm saying that it could have been a little more racy. The main burden of the story lies on the shoulders of the genius detective Robin Horo, because it is him who is solving the murder mystery through his intellect. But at the same time, the other characters are not useless either, because when you read about how they're talking to each other and how they contribute to the story, they kind of add to the entire atmosphere in the story of being Robin Horo's squad, which gives a feeling of collectiveness in the story, which was not a bad thing at all. So overall, The Secret of the Palamu Fort by Razi Ahmed is a quick and a light-hearted story that when you pick it up, you can literally fly through the book. The suspense and the mystery factor in this book did not exactly blow my mind, but it was not bad either. So that was my review of The Secret of the Palamu Fort by Razi Ahmed. If you want to get your hands on this book, then I'll leave the link for that in the description box. That's it guys, we have reached the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye.